إنا أنزلناه قرآنا عربيا لعلكم تعقلون.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Today we are starting the grammar lessons of the Medina Book 1. The last time we said we are going to look at some basic grammar of all what we have studied in from the lesson 1 to lesson number 10 of the book 1. As I said, the grammar lessons are very, very important. As we were studying the book, studying this particular book, the Medina book, we need several two categories of to focus on. The first one is the grammar, and then the second one is vocabulary. So we're looking at a lot of vocabularies. We studied how to see this and this, but we also studied grammar. We're looking at several grammar came across: mudof ilay, harf al-jar, harf al-atf, all this zorf, and a whole lot of other things. But this particular lesson is specifically for the grammar. We are going to take the grammar and then we look at it in a more broader view than we did. But still, these lessons are just basic, are limited to what we have. Grammar we have came across from lesson 1 to lesson 10. Okay, and then this series is also going to be short. We are not going to make it extensive, long lessons. So for example, like within 30 minutes or less than 30 minutes, at most 30 minutes for this lesson. Inshallah, we'll try to regulate it to that. So, and we'll have about 11 or 12 lessons of these grammar lessons, inshallah. So that's just it. And it's also very important for developing our understanding of the Quran. One of the main things I see to be very important in understanding of our Quran, to have relationship with is the grammar. Is the grammar. It's very important. If you have the grammar, a lot of things open up for you. The understanding becomes very easy. And we also appreciate the beauty of the Quran in that regard, and that have an impact on how we think and how we see the Quran and even the Sunnah at large, the hadith of the Prophet. So without wasting much time, let's start with the lesson number 1 of the grammar lesson. Today we are looking at Aqsamul Kalam. Aqsamul Kalam, as you can see here, Aqsamul Kalam. What do we mean by Aqsamul Kalam? Ma ma'na Aqsamul Kalam? What do we mean by Aqsamul Kalam? Aqsamul Kalam is simply what we call in English parts of speech. Parts of what? Speech. And if you can remember, in English, I don't know what English is your language or whatever be your language, but in English, Aqsamul Kalam is all called, the part of the speech. I'm just going to do a brief recap of explaining what we mean by part of speech. What we simply mean here is that a word in the Arabic language is falling within these categories. We have 3 parts of speech in Arabic language. Ism. Ism means noun. Ismun, noun. Fi'lun, verb. And then we have harfun, a particle. That is all. There's no other one. 3. The first part one is ism, a noun. Fi'lun, a verb. And then harfun, a particle. So what we are simply trying to see is that in Arabic, a word in Arabic should fall within this category. A word in Arabic language should fall within these 3 categories. It's either a noun, ismun. It's either a verb, fi'lun, or a harf, a particle. I hope that is clear. So example, we have seen a lot of examples of verb, nouns, ismun, asma. Example, we look at kitabun, qalamun, hakibatun, daftarun, babun, nafizatun, madrasatun. When we were studying the book lesson number 1 to lesson number 10, we saw several examples of what? Nouns. So they are within this category. Ismun. Another one is fi'lun, verb. Example is what we saw. Zahaba, he went, is a verb. Kharaja, he left, is a verb. Jalasa, he sat, is a verb. So all these are also what? Examples of what? Of verbs. But we'll study verbs. There is a lesson that is coming. We'll study verbs extensively. But these are just examples. Okay? Then we'll also look at huruf. You can remember harful jar is a common example. We studied harful jar. So it's all within this category. Harf is a harf. Harful jar. Example is ila, min. Okay? Ila, min. Okay? Then we'll also look at harful atf, the wa. For example, kitabun wa kalamun. The wa is a harful atf. It also falls within this category. So what we simply say, what we are saying is that a verb, in a word in Arabic language is falling within these 3 categories. Okay, so keep that in note. Then, aside from this leads us to the 3 types of sentences we have in Arabic. A sentence, we are now looking at a sentence. So a word could fall within these categories. Then we are now saying that sentences, this leads us to 3 types of sentences. Okay. Jumla ismiya. We have 3 types of sentence in Arabic language. Jumla ismiya. Jumlatul ismiya. A nominal sentence. In nominal noun. In nominal sentence. Jumla ismiya. Jumla fi'liya. That is the second type of sentence. Jumla fi'liya. A verbal sentence. Okay, a verb. So a verbal sentence. Jumla fi'liya. So you can see ismiya. Yes, ism and turn to ismiya. Fi'lun, fi'liya. So jumla fi'liya, a verbal sentence. Then we look at shubih jumla. Shubih jumla. This shubih jumla is must have a half at the beginning. So now let's look at it small. A jumla ismiya is simply a type of sentence that we call nominal sentence in English. But it is, identified by a mubtada and a khabar. A jumla ismiya is a sentence that have a mubtada and a khabar, a subject and a predicate. We look at what mubtada means, a subject. Khabarun is a predicate. What's the name is a predicate. It gives us the information. Okay. So right now, this nominal sentence, most of the time it starts with an ism. Not all of the time. Most of the time, it starts with an ism. So that's a jumla ismiya. But it must have mubtada wa khabarun to be a complete sentence. Okay, it must have a subject and a predicate to be a complete sentence. So this is an example here. Al-kitabu jamilun. So you see it is starting with a noun. Okay, a noun. So al-kitabu jamilun. And as I said, let me repeat again. Most of the time it starts with a noun, but not all of the time. We look at a small exception. Okay, so al-kitabu jamilun. The book is beautiful. Is beautiful. So this al-kitabu is the mubtada. Is the mubtada. It is the subject of the sentence. Jamilun, al-kitabu jamilun. The book is beautiful. So jamilun is the khabar. Is the predicate. It gives us information about the book. It says something about the book. So that is the what? The khabar. So this is a complete sentence. Al-kitabu jamilun is a complete sentence. And it is what? A jumla ismiya. Why? It has a mubtada and a khabar, a subject and a predicate. I hope that is clear. Okay. The second one, as I said, we have jumla fi'liya. We have a verbal sentence. Jumla fi'liya is the verbal sentence. It has a fi'l and then a fa'il. Fi'l is the verb, just like you can see here. Fi'lun, the verb. And then fa'ilun. Fa'ilun is the doer, the one who does the verb. It's all called the fa'il. Okay. And one thing is that jumla fi'liya will always start with a fi'l, a verb. So jumla fi'liya, a verbal sentence, it always begins with a verb. I hope that is clear. Example. So this is an example. ذهب محمد إلى الفصل. ذهب محمد إلى الفصل. It's a half jar. So ذهب, you see it is beginning with a verb. A verb. ذهب. So what we need to know is that if you are searching for jumla fi'liya, if you want to identify a particular sentence, a particular sentence is a verbal sentence, is a jumla fi'liya. 1, it starts with a verb. That's it. 2, it has a fi'l and then a fa'il, a verb and then a doer. Sometimes it may have maf'ulun bihi. Okay, but this is not our right now. This is what we are looking at. When we go further on, we'll look at it. So, but now what we need to know, fi'l and then fa'il. It has a fi'l and then a fa'il. It must have fi'l and fa'il to be complete. Other than that, the sentence won't be complete. So that's a jumla fi'liya. So we have zahaba Muhammadun. So zahaba is the fi'l. And who is the doer? Muhammadun. So Muhammad is the fa'il. So it is complete. So you could have just said zahaba Muhammadun. And it will be complete. Why? We said if it need these two conditions to be complete. Fi'l and fa'il. Any other thing is a za'ida. Is an addition. Okay. So zahaba Muhammadun. The fi'l is zahaba. He went. Fa'il is Muhammad. He is the doer. Complete sentence. Ila al-fasl. To the classroom. Okay. So it's a complete sentence. Then the last one is called shubih jumla. So this shubih jumla is the last type of category, and it is an incomplete sentence. An incomplete sentence, right? It's an incomplete sentence. Most of the time, it doesn't have a complete meaning if it is standing alone. Let me give you an example. And it mostly begins with, it has a jar and then a majrur. A jar and then a majrur. Or it begins with a zarf. Let me try to break it down what it means. If, assuming someone asks you, someone met you, you met a friend, and then he asks you, where are you going? Where are you going? And then you say, to the market. To the market. Okay, to the market. So that phrase, to the market, is a sentence. You have just replied him. And it is a sentence that you have just said. But it is incomplete without the question. It is dependent on the question to be understandable. If the question is not there, assuming you just see this phrase, to the market, written somewhere, written on a wall, does it make a meaning to you? To the market. You ask, what do you mean by to the market? Or someone just came and tell you, I just sitting down, someone can tell you to the market. You ask the person, what do you mean by to the market? So in itself, it doesn't make a complete sentence. I mean, a complete meaning. It depends on something to be complete. So that's what we call the shubih jumla. And most of the time, it begins with a what? With a harf. So for example, to, to, ila, to is a harf. It's a preposition in English, and it falls, prepositions are here, roof. Okay, so most of the time it begins with prepositions, like to the market, or you are saying with the principal. Okay, with the principal. Someone asks, where is Hamid? You say with the principal. Okay, he with the principal. So all this, they begin mostly with huruf. So that is what we mean by the shubhi jumla. Okay, so this is an example here. So we said jar wa majrur. It's made up of jar wa majrur. This is an example. Just look at this example. Ila suki, to the market. So assuming someone asks you, aina tazhab, where are you going? Then you say ila suki, to the market. To the market. So this, as I just explained, doesn't make sense. It depends on the question, or it depends on whatever it is relating to. But in itself, standing alone, it doesn't make a complete meaning, and it mostly begins with the huruf al-jar. So you see jar and then wa majrur. This is what it means. It has a jar. For example, here this is half a jar, so it is a jar. And then majrur. Majrur, you can remember, we look at majrurun, mansubun, and then marfu'un. Majrurun is having kasra. I mean, ending with, kasra. It depends on the form of the noun, but from what we have learned, have ending with what? With a kasra. So that's the majrur. Okay. Then sometimes it may begin with also zarf. Like here could be zarf. Okay, so that is it. Hope that is clear. So jumla ismiya, jumla fi'liya, and then shubih jumla. So these are the 3 types of sentences we have in Arabic language, and both needs this, what is under them, to be complete sentence. That those are the rules of those sentences. Okay, and these are examples. So let's come here. So we are starting with ism. Ism. Here we just said a word in Arabic is falling within these 3 categories. So now we are going to look at them one after the other. We look at ism. In the next lesson, we look at fi'l. In the next one, we look at harf. So we are going to look at ism for now. So that's what you can see here, ism. Okay, so ism. So we have seen examples of asma or ism. Example, as I just said, the book, kitabun, the pen, kalamun, the chair, maktabun. Okay, all these are asma, nouns. Now, we are looking at alamatul ism. Alamatul ism. So alamatun is the plural of alamatun. Alamat is the plural of alamatun, which means a sign or a feature, okay, of something. So alamatul ism, features of nouns, or characteristics, something that signifies or that gives a signal that this thing is a noun. The first thing we are looking at is jar. Jar. So nouns are affected by harf jar. You can remember that last time we said that if a noun, most of the time, not all nouns, because we have mabni and the mu'arrab, you can remember, there are some nouns when they come after a, most of the nouns in Arabic language, when they come after a harf jar, they will tend to have kesra. Okay, so what we are simply saying is that huruf jar, or a noun, is only that which can become majrur. A noun can take a kesra when there are certain conditions, for example, mudaf ilay, or in simple terms, harf al-jar, huruf al-jar will only affect nouns. Harf al-jar doesn't affect verbs. So if a verb should come after a harf al-jar, it will never take kesra. Okay, so that's what we are getting. That's the first feature of a what? Of a noun. So assume you just see ila, and then a particular word come here. You don't know the meaning of the word, but it has taken kesra because this is harf al-jar. So that word, even though you don't know the meaning, but you know that it is a noun. Why? Huruf al-jar only affects nouns. It is only nouns which are affected by jar. Okay. The next one is tanween. Tanween. What do you mean by tanween? Double vowel, double fatha, double kesra, or double dhamma. So haza kitabun. You see the double vowel on the last letter. So it is only nouns that take tanween. A verb will never take tanween. For example, zahaba, on the last letter, what is there? One. Only one, vowel. Okay. So zahaba, one fatha. To never take two, zahaban. To never be two, fatha. Okay. So that's what we mean by tanween. Tanween, only nouns have tanweens. So that's an alama, a sign of a noun. So you see a word, you don't know what it means. You don't even know whether it is a noun, a verb, or a harf. But you see that it is having tanween. So definitely it's a feature that it is a noun. It's only nouns that have tanween. Okay. Then the third one is nida. Nida. You can remember we did harf nida. Ya. You are calling to someone. Ya Muhammadu. Ya Abd. Okay. Or is it Ya Muhammadu? Ya Yasiru. Okay. Ya Hamidu. When you are calling to someone and then you use this particular harf nida. So nida, they are only used for nouns. So you just see ya something, 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 and you don't know what that word means. Okay. Ya Muawiyah. You don't know what do you mean Muawiyah. But you don't even know whether it is a noun, a verb, or a harf. Definitely it is a noun because of the ya that comes after it, before it. Why? When we are calling something, do we call verbs? No, we don't call verbs. We will always say Ya Muhammadu, Ya Ali. Whenever we are calling to someone using ya or any harf nida, the thing we are calling is a noun. Okay, so that's it. It doesn't make sense to call verb or to call harf. So this huruf nida will always come with nouns. They don't go with verbs or particle. Why we don't call verbs or we don't call particle? We always call nouns, things that are nouns. Okay, a human being or something, anyway, or Allah. Okay, and all these are nouns. The next one is alif walam. Alif walam. Okay, only nouns take alif walam. For example, kitabun, al-kitabu. You can change it to al-kitabu. It is a feature of nouns. Verbs doesn't take alif walam. Huruf doesn't take alif walam. Only nouns take alif walam. So if you see a word, you don't know the meaning, but it is beginning with alif walam, know that it is an ism. It is not a verb and it is not a particle. Okay. The third one is, the last one is ta'u marbuta. Ta'u marbuta. What do you mean by ta'u marbuta? The closed ta'u. This one, you can see it. So it is only with nouns. Hadiqatun, shajaratun, madrasatun, nafizatun. So you see this ta marbuta at the ends of these verbs. We call it the ta marbuta. The ta that is used to signify femininity, meaning that that particular noun is feminine noun. It only goes with nouns. There's no way a verb will have ta marbuta. Then there is no way a harf will have ta marbuta. So even if you see a word, you don't know the meaning, but that particular word is having ta marbuta, note that it is a noun and it is not a verb, neither a harf. I hope that is clear. So these are the features of nouns. Okay, so you have seen features of nouns. Now let's look at aqsamul ism. Aqsamul ism. How can the ism or the nouns be classified? Okay. The first one is muzakkar wa muannas. We could either classify nouns. Based on whether it is masculine or feminine. Okay. So for example, you have kitabun and then you have madrasatun. Kitabun is masculine. Okay. Madrasatun is feminine. Why? Because it is having ta marbuta at the end. So we could classify nouns into these categories: feminine nouns and the masculine nouns. Okay. Masculine nouns and then feminine nouns. So this is a category. We can classify based on this category. Another one is adad. Adad. What do you mean by adad? Number. Adadun means number. So mufradun, singular. Musanna, dual. And then jamu, plural. So we can classify verbs based on this category. Again, also, so for example, you have kitabun, it's a verb. And you have kitabani, it's also a verb, but it means two books. But if I say kutubun, books, so that's a plural. Jamu, plural. So the first one, kitabun, will be within, is a mufrad, meaning it is singular. But musanna means what? It is dual. Kitabani, and then jamu, kutubun, books, plural. So you can classify verbs nouns based on their number. I mean, singular, dual, or plural. Then the next one is nakiratun wa ma'rifatun. Whether it is nakira or it is ma'rifa. We look at what we mean by nakira and we look at what we mean by ma'rifa. Nakira means indefinite, and then ma'rifa means definite. Okay. So for example, the ma'rifa, if a noun is having alif or lam, it is ma'rifa, meaning we know what we are talking about. So if I say the book, al-kitab, it falls within what? Al-ma'rifa, it is ma'rifa because of the alif or lam, the definite article, meaning we know what we are talking about, a particular book, the book. But if I say a book, it's a nakira, okay, kitabun, the tanween there is a what? Indefinite article. So it means that we are talking about any particular book, or not specific. So nouns could be classified within these categories. Also, nouns with alif or lam will fall within, I'm giving just an example, will fall within ma'rifa. And then nouns, for example, with tanween will fall within nakira. So that's another classification. Then we have here al-i'rab wal-bina. Al-i'rab wal-bina. Okay, al-i'rab and then bina. So al-i'rab, whether it is mu'arrab, okay, and then bina, whether it is mabni. We look at mu'arrab and then we look at mabni. You can remember. So whether it is falling within this category, al-mu'arrab, it can change, it can take, it is flexible, okay, it can, example is like if a harf al-jar comes before the noun, like here, ila al-bayti. So baytun is a what? Is a mu'arrab noun. Why? It obeys the law of the what? The harf al-jar. It's a harf al-jar here. It's supposed to have kesra, so it has taken the kesra, so it's a mu'arrab. But we look at other nouns that we say they are mabni. They don't change irrespective of whatever comes before it or irrespective of any condition. They are always firm, rigid. They don't change. Example is Musa. You always say Musa, Musa. You never say Musi. For example, if a half a jar comes, you not say Musi. It will be what? Musa. It will still be Musa. It is spelled Musa. A half a jar comes or whatever, it is still Musa. So it is a mabni. It is what? It is a mabni. It is a mabni. Mabni is simple. It's coming from the word bana. It is the verb bana, means to build. So it's just like when you build a house. Can you move it here and there? It is now fixed. If you build something, it is fixed, rigid, so you can't change it. You cannot change it. Okay? So these are the categories in which we can classify nouns. Okay, I hope that is clear. Okay, now we look at here. This is just an example, or should I say an exercise, not an exercise really, but an example for us to, we are trying to, here are just sentences. Now we want to classify it based on the 3 types of sentences we have. We are trying to identify which category of sentence or which type of sentence are these. The first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one. Which types of sentences do they fall in? I just said Arabic, we have 3 types of sentence. Al-jumla ismiya, a nominal sentence. Al-jumla fi'liya, a verbal sentence. Now we have a shubih jumla. Okay. So the first one is what? So this one, jumla fi'liya, jumla shubih jumla, jumla ismiya. So let's classify it. The first one is haza al-kitabu jamilun. Haza al-kitabu jamilun. So one, which one is it? Let's look at the first one. Jumla fi'liya. Is this jumla fi'liya? No, never. Why? We said jumla fi'liya have a fi'l and then a fa'il. It needs a fi'l and then a fa'il, a verb and a doer to be complete. There's no verb here to begin with. There's no verb here. Haza al-kitabu, this book, jamilun, is beautiful. Haza al-kitabu jamil. There's no verb here. So it is just out. It is not jumla fi'liya. Shubih jumla. We said shubih jumla is the incomplete sentence and it have a jar and then a majrur. A jar and then what? Majrur. So is there half a jar here? Not only half a jar. It's just any jar here. There's no jar here. Like half a jar. There's nothing like that here. And there's no even majrur. There's no word here which is majrur, which is having kasra on the end or something. Okay? So it is out also. Then jumla ismiya. We said jumla ismiya have what? Mubtada and khabar. Mubtada and khabar, a subject and a predicate. So this is the subject of the sentence. Haza al-kitabu. You can remember this is a badal. So you don't say this, the book. Haza al-kitab. You don't say this, the book. The last time I explained it, it is this book. Call it badal. This book. Okay, this book. When a noun with alif or lam comes after ism ishara. So this book. So that is the subject. Jamilun is the khabar, the predicate, which gives us information about the book. Jamilun, beautiful, is beautiful. So it is a jumla ismiya. Okay, so let's mark it. It is what? A jumla ismiya, right? Okay, so that is it. It is a jumla ismiya. The next one, kharaja hamidun. Kharaja hamidun. Hamid left. It falls within this category. Jumla fi'liya. Let's try to, to see which one. Jumla fi'liya. So let's take jumla fi'liya for the first one. Is it jumla fi'liya? We said jumla fi'liya, we need a fi'l and then a fa'il, a verb and then a doer. So kharaja, that is a verb. Hamidun, Hamid is what? Is the doer. So it has a fi'l and then a fa'il, a verb and then a doer. So it has fit to this category. So it is a jumla fi'liya. Okay? So I hope you can see. Jumla fi'liya, we'll give it red. Jumla ismiya, we'll give it green. And if it is shubh jumla, we'll mark it blue. So that's what we are doing. Sami Allahu liman hamida. Sami Allahu liman hamida. We have been saying this every day, right? So, which it is a sentence. Okay, even though we have not seen this word, Sami'a, it means he heard. He heard. Okay, he heard. So if I say, I heard you saying so, so, and so. So I'll say, Sami'tu katakulu kaza. Okay, Sami'tu. Okay, I heard. So simply what I'm trying to say is that Sami'a, we have not looked at it, but we want to answer this question. So it is a verb. It means he heard. Okay, he heard. So Sami Allahu liman hamida. So Sami'a means what? He heard. It is a verb. So let's run it through. We are picking the first one. Jumla fi'liya. Can it be a jumla fi'liya? So let's see what are the requirements for jumla fi'liya. A fi'l and then a fa'il, a verb and then a doer. And then a doer. So Sami'a, he heard, is a verb. So that's the first one is complete. The next one is a fa'il. Allahu. Allah is the one who hears, okay, or who heard, who did this verb. Allah is the one, is the fa'il. Allah, Azza wa Jal, is the doer, the fa'il of this verb. So it has a verb and then it has a fa'il, a doer. I said any other thing is a za'ida, it's an addition. But these are the requirements. Sami Allahu is the requirement. It can be a jumla fi'liya. So it's complete. It has fulfilled the requirement. So it's a jumla fi'liya. Okay, the next one. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We have been saying this also, right? So which category does it fall or does it belong? Which type of verb? So let me try to, you see the first part, let me try to split it for you what it is. This is what it is. Let me do something here. Okay. So this part, this I'm talking about here, Bismi, it is initially Bi-ismi. Bi-ismi. Okay. So ismun, we have seen ismun, ma ismuka. Ismun means name. So this ba at the beginning here, it is a half a jar. If you can remember, when we're reading, we came across several examples like huwa talibun bil jami'a, huwa talibun bil jami'a, huwa talibun bil jami'a. It was this ba. It is a half a jar. Even though we have not explained it, but we'll still explain it. We'll see it later on. But just know that it is within the huruf al-jar. Huruf al-jar. It is from the huruf al-jar. So it is a half a jar. Okay. So bi-ismillah. This is how it is. But if you can remember, we explained a lot of things. And then we said that we have Hamza to the wasl. So this particular Hamza, it is a Hamza to the wasl. So if you are reading, remember we said you will jump it. It is as if you are jumping it. And you are taking the pronunciation to where the spoon is. So that is why we always see what? We always see bis, me. But you will never hear someone saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. No. You see what? All of us, we say bis. Bis. It's as if you are jumping this Hamza. Okay? I don't want to explain it much into details why we have already explained the Hamza to Wasl and then Hamza to Qata. So that is why we say Bismi. But I just want to notify you that this ba at the beginning is a half a jar. And so that is, it is initially this way, Bi Ismillah. So this is a half a jar and then this is a majrur in its case. So which category does it fall? Of course, jumla, shubh jumla, the incomplete sentence. So if I just say Bi Ismi, it has a jar, and then it has a majhul. So that's the incomplete sentence. Okay. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So it is definitely falling within the shubh jumla. Okay. It is falling within the shubh jumla. Okay. So it is shubh jumla. I hope that is clear. So this will bring us to the end of this particular lesson. Inshallah, we have seen just asma. This is the first part. We have studied ism. Inshallah, in the next lesson, we are going to look at fi'l. This is just a little bit about ism. So we will look at fi'l. Then the following lesson, we'll look at harf in that order. So, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wa jazakumullahu khairan fi hayatikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.